Summer Game Fest has concluded. After its glamorous lights and sweet promises, it is time to highlight the most exciting games from across 5 days of gaming showcase galore. From promising new stars on the indie scene to unexpected AAA experiences that took you for a run for your money, all amazing highlights and a few sprinkle of suggestions here and there are covered in this video. I won't cover every single showcase though, because I do not have enough time to cover every single one, and this video will be extremely long, so I'll talk mostly about Guerrilla Collective future game shows, Summer Game Fest, and the Xbox Showcase. Plenty to talk about. This is the Summer Game Fest Highlights 2024. But before we keep going, I invite you to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any gaming news or discussion about the gaming world. Guerrilla Collective Showcase focuses mostly on independent titles. 2024 marked their 5th anniversary. The show was hosted by Justin Woodward. He did a splendid job by quickly introducing to the next segment and avoiding any boring or half-baked jokes that would last a little bit too long. Unlike another showcase. Yeah, maybe I'll talk about this one later. Guerrilla Collective had a total of 50 plus games across its 2 hours of presentation, and these are some of the most notable ones. This is a massive multiplayer game centered on skateboarding. You and friends will be able to customize not just your skater, but also the playground where you make stunts and tricks. Reckless is all about creation in the player's hand. You'll have complete control of a level editor that will allow you to customize your skating space to your every need. Need more air for your tricks? Modify those pipes to get the best out of your skate. Reckless arrives in fall of 2024 through Steam as early access. This is a card turn-based tactic game where you control a party of various warriors through challenging fights. Taking place in the medieval times, this game makes combat up close and personal. You have to position your characters carefully around enemies and obstacles, making sure that you keep your tactical advantage. With 300 cards, different classes, and gear to equip, the game offers countless hours of deck building fun. Nights in Tight Spaces is coming soon to Steam. The beloved platforming duo are back in a definite remaster and enhanced version of the 3D indie platformer Collectathon Darling. With an art and animations overhaul as well as improvements to existing in-game challenges to discover and undertake while also looking handsomely better, Yuka Replayly also went through a new tweaked moveset that allows you to combine moves more fluidly while the camera controls makes framing the action to a breeze. Yuka Replayly doesn't have a release date, but you can wishlist it on Steam. This is a 2.5 pixel adventure taking place in a cyberpunk RPG world. The single-player experience takes place in the year 2053. You are Axel McCoy, once a police detective who will become the key piece to unmask a whole plot of corruption and power. We'll explore every corner of the city, Viridis, a living place that tells its own story as well as keeping its own secrets. We'll speak with key characters and gather pieces of investigation as we explore the world around us. Its beautiful aesthetics with a unique blend of pixel art with highly drawn and animated 3D environments will draw you in. Neon Blood is coming soon to Steam. This is a Souls-like top-down action-adventure game. More specifically, it is a boss rush action game. Light Odyssey captures the interplay of light and darkness that strikes out as one of the many distinctive graphic features, along with a fast-paced combat system and an epic storyline in which you have to strike down gigantic enemies. Seriously, you are a tiny speck fighting these gigantic figures that occupy 70% of your screen. You'll experience a unique combat system, a cinematic battle, and challenges that require quick decisions. Light Odyssey is planned to release in winter 2024 on Steam. This is an immersive sim, first-person shooter styled as a comic book. You are placed in a gritty crime noir saga that spans 3 episodes filled of dozens of levels, all in favor of telling a story. A story where everyone is out to get you. When everyone wants you dead, the world is your weapon. Use fists, knives, pipes, bats, pistols, shotguns, Tommy guns, and more to take back what's yours. The hand-drawn art and animation is 100% original and gives the game an authentic feel of playing inside a comic book. Fallen Aces is coming soon to Steam. This is a dungeon crawler action roguelike with fast-paced combat that can be enjoyed with another 3 friends, either through LAN or multiplayer co-op. The game takes place in an age of myth and magic. You play as ambitious wizards assemble to undertake perilous trials of legend. Your character harnesses the power of arcana attacks, which can be mixed, matched, experimented, and mastered in multiple combinations. Each round will be different, so you get to practice unique options of combat. Your power covers fire, air, water, earth, lightning, and chaos. Each trial is unlike the last, and as you continue to fight through trials, you are one step closer to becoming the Wizard of Legend. Wizards of Legends 2 is set to release on Steam. Coming soon to Steam, Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit is a new chilling adventure of the beginning of everything. What started it all of the animatronics of Five Nights at Freddy's. This new immersive chapter puts you in the shoes of Oswald, a kid that wishes his life wasn't so boring. Oh boy, will he be surprised. For the next 5 nights, he must survive the chilling nights inside the pizzeria. Travel between time periods, gather clues, and outrun the threat relentlessly pursuing you. Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit will arrive soon to Steam. This is a new action-adventure game that centers on exploration in a unique, creative savor game. The gameplay encourages a curiosity-driven exploration of its distinct ecosystems, with non-aggressive combat mechanics designed for healing rather than defeating and indigenous flute melodies that you play to tame creatures. This highlights the nature of the experience that Creatures of Ava wishes to accomplish. You are Vic, a nature adventurer that explores a dense, populated, and rich ecosystem. Your task is to understand the true meaning of an infection affecting the plant. Creatures of Ava is coming to Steam in 2024. Enjoy games like Only Up? I got you another option. This is Egging On, a difficult physics simulation game where you are an egg trying to climb up. Face a challenge of being a real fragile egg, climb out of the hen house, and survive crossing through different dangerous areas. Roll, jump, and use the environment to reach new heights. But be careful, if you break your eggshell, you'll have to wait till you recover your shape. But what is even worse, if you fall or break completely, you'll restart the level from the very beginning. There are no checkpoints. Test your skills in a gradually rising challenge on Egging On, coming soon to Steam. This is a special love letter to the classic Paper Mario games. Escape from Ever After is a genre-bending RPG where you are a newly hired storybook hero that must climb to the corporate ladder as he rallies other disgruntled employees and fights back. Dive into storybook worlds packed to the brim with colorful characters and electrifying secrets, face off against hordes of wacky enemies and snappy turn-based gameplay. Perfectly timed action commands allows your character to finish off your foes with style. This engaging story will be released on Steam in the near future. You will think that a gaming conference with its name as the main event that is happening across a whole weekend will be the biggest spectacle. Boy, will you be wrong.
You serious?
Summer Game Fest had 40 plus games in its 2-hour presentation. Now, the biggest problem of the showcase, too many of the announcements were just updates or release of DLCs, as well as including games already announced from previous months. Unfortunately, those announcements don't bring a lot of excitement, you know, you've already seen them. Still, there were some highlights in the showcase. As a LEGO video game enthusiast, seeing the trailer for a new game was excellent, even if the franchise isn't even on my radar. Doesn't matter, LEGO games are fun. Now, LEGO Horizons Adventures looks beautiful and revitalized from previous entries. The environments of the worlds are massive and detailed. It also looks like there will be more to do outside of the follow of just following a campaign. Alloy can upgrade and modify the home base, and it goes great with LEGO's theme of creating whatever you want. LEGO Horizon Adventures is set to arrive on holidays of 2024. It is back! No More Room in Hell 2 is a zombie survival horror game that can be played with 8 players. It is an intense and terrifying permadeath co-op journey into the eerie darkness of zombie-infested zones. Players must communicate and strategize to survive as they respond to calls of help, scavenge, stockpile, and fulfill the mission. Then repeat each time you experience a new adventure. Survive at any cost on No More Room to Hell 2 coming soon to Steam. This one gets a quick appearance because I don't agree with Warner Bros. Decision to remove Quidditch from Hogwarts Legacy. We know that game didn't have it because it was going to be made into its own game. We aren't blind, Warner. You wanted more money, saw it as an opportunity, and took it. But you know what? Hogwarts Legacy could have had Quidditch, and this game could have existed as well. But oh well, Quidditch Champions arrives on September 3rd. After 8 years, it is time for a new entry to the Civilization franchise. Sid Meier's Civilization 7 is set to arrive in 2025 on PC and consoles. Now, this one isn't necessarily one game announcement, it is the start of a new video game publisher. From the creators of horror movies The Black Phone, Megan, and the adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's, Blumhouse makes the jump to the gaming world. They didn't arrive empty-handed though. Alongside the reveal of Blumhouse games, they also reveal a slate of new upcoming games. They showcase Crystal, Theater of Idols, Grave Seasons, Sleep Awake, Fear the Spotlight, The Simulation, and Project C. Plenty to enjoy if you are a horror enthusiast. If there is a type of game I'm always up for, is games like Deer and Boy. Show me a cute animal companion and I'm sold. This is a cinematic platformer in which you follow the journey of a boy and a deer. Together they will overcome many obstacles that will change their lives forever. You start the game with a baby fawn that mostly stays inside your backpack as you traverse through rough and dangerous terrain. But as time passes by, your companion grows and becomes stronger, then helping you with obstacles. If for any reason the deer dies, I'll riot. Deer and the Boy is coming soon to Steam. I know I say I wouldn't mention games previously announced or updates and DLCs, but come on, it's Alan Wake 2 DLC. Remedy isn't done tormenting the fanbase with more stories or their favorite author. Characters across different game stories from Remedy made an appearance. Jesse Faden show up, and it seems this DLC will be a crazy mashup. Night Springs DLC will be released on June 8th. Finally, to finish up with Summer Game Fest, Valorant is making the jump from PC to consoles. That's right, Riot is making one of their most played games multi-platform. It will arrive on PS5 and Series X and S this year. There will be a closed beta on June 14th if you are interested. This is the second conference of Future Games show this year. The first presentation happened almost at the start of 2024. Now, in this case, the games from the presentation were premieres with plenty of variety. The games presented were between indie and AA games. The showcase was co-hosted by Britt Baron, the voice behind Tifa Lockhart in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Roach Clark, the voice of Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2. Their hosting was gracious, and each time they appeared on screen, they kept the talk to a minimum and always went straight to more game announcements. Now, the biggest highlights from this showcase are the following. It is an immersive action RPG survival with base building and tower defense mechanics. There is a lot to this game. It will test your survival and exploration skills in a fantasy open world, sprawling on islands floating in the sky. You control a dwarf called True. He pilots a powerful mech as well as fly with Ragnar the dragon. You build, optimize, and look after your colonies. You will fight tainted enemies by engaging in close combat and by building defense mechanism around the colonies. First Dwarf arrives in early access on June 19th to Steam. I love a good co-op adventure, especially if it requires both players communicating and deciphering puzzles. In Sync is a game where you work together to solve puzzles and escape the deserted island. Success requires more than just you and your partner thinking alike. You'll have to communicate through puzzles that are languageless because of the elements used, like shapes, signs, colors, and numbers. You'll need to act as each other's eyes and ears to solve puzzles and find the way out. In Sync comes to Steam in the last quarter of 2024. A racing action-adventure game about a freelance bicycle messenger. You sign to one of the 3 companies that are looking to become the biggest and most profitable career companies. Embark on a journey satirizing the gig economy, media influencers, and big tech. It will be up to you to save the world one package at a time. The game has an incredibly fluid, stylish, and expansive skill set. Catch air from rooftop ramps, slide under articulated vehicles, defy gravity by riding along walls as you create your own path through bustling, vibrant city. Parcel Corps arrives on September 3rd to Steam. If playing in front of a monitor for hours was an addiction, then this game of playing a video game inside a video game is an overdose. Screenbound, what a name, is a platformer not like any other. You move in first-person view at the same time while playing in 2D on the screen of your mobile console. You have to cross mind-bending environmental puzzles that will test your limits of dimensional space. The game will also come with a level editor, so you can create your own nasty, nausea-inducing levels. We know that's what people are going to do. Screenbound will be released on Steam. Have you ever wanted to be a police officer from the classic GTA games, running around arresting people instead of committing the crimes? Well, The Precinct is the answer. It combines police sim detail with action sandbox spectacle. Patrol the streets and respond to callouts to fight criminals. Petty and powerful. Choose your own tactics in thrilling chases and shootouts. This is a living city full of procedurally generated crimes, for parking infractions to bank heists, street racing to drug deals. It has it all. The Precinct is set to release in 2024 to Steam. This is a game about jumping from shadow to shadow in a relaxing and lively environment. This 3D platformer takes elements of light, shadow, and animation to its gameplay, delivering an experience that won't find anywhere else. A skim in the game is the soul and spirit of an object, thing, living or living being. Everything in the world has one. You are a skim separated from their body. Your task is to return to your human being as you cross various scenes of the world. Skim arrives on Steam on July 18. Eric's Holson: The Stolen Dream is an isometric narrative-driven stealth game set in the city of Eric Holson. You are Hannah. She's looking for his brother who disappears. Your search sets up a chain of catastrophic events that will not only alter the lives but also the destiny of the entire city. The game allows you to switch between 3 unique characters and utilize their unique abilities to access new areas, solve puzzles, and overcome enemies. Will you be able to find Hannah's brother and not destroy the city? Eric's Home: The Stolen Dream arrives on Steam in 2025. Summer Game Fest is set to be early Christmas for gamers. Game after game lined up for you to receive it. The Xbox Showcase took that phrase and said, "Hold my beer." This was single-handedly the savior of the whole event. But not only that, it was the greatest showcase ever done by Xbox. To say that the games like Indiana Jones weren't even at the top 5 games of the spotlight should say a lot. And not because the game isn't important, but that of how many amazing games were presented one after the other. I was impressed even by games that aren't normally in my wheelhouse. These are the biggest announcements from the Xbox Showcase. While South of Midnight was first announced a year ago, we mostly got a cinematic and a title reveal with music. It looked cool, but nothing to showcase its distinction. This second showing had more meat on its bones. We got to see some gameplay, traversal movement, combat and pieces of story. Its animation and artistic visuals are gorgeous. Some people might dislike it, but its stop motion animation is charming. Music was also phenomenal. The game is an action adventure that has some vibes of games like Kena, Bridge of Spirits, minus the cute critter companions. The game is set to release in 2025 and will be available on PC Game Pass Day 1. Slowly, Fable is turning into the game we want to explore more and more. Continuing with the premise, what does it mean to be a hero? The story looks to be less fairy tale and more nightmarish. Not like in a horror game, but more of what happens when you make all the wrong decisions. It was emphasized throughout the whole trailer. Your decisions matter. So it looks like there will be plenty of moments when you get to pick your own path, and from what the story is telling us, those decisions will be very important. It won't be an easy tale, but a complex layer of decision making. Now that's what I love when given the chance to make decisions, that they matter. I mean, there's still a long time before the game comes out and more information of the story will be released later, but for now, it is shaping up great. Fable is set to release in 2025. Not only did this trailer flip me into wanting to play the game, it also shut up those that doubted if the game even existed. Yes, it is still alive and kicking. From what we saw, it looks great. It looks great. The trailer contained gameplay mixed with cinematics. This anticipated reboot of the Secret Agent series is set to give players an approach to stealth gameplay. It will blend fluid traversal, gadgets, close quarters combat, gunplay, stealth, and more to create the perfect or the ultimate Secret Agent experience. Perfect Dark is set to release later in the future. Another game that went quiet after its first announcement 2 years ago, State of Decay 3 brings a new experience to the survival co-op zombie adventure. It is unclear how much different the game will be from previous ones, but what the trailer did give us was the tone of the game. This will be all about relationships, sacrifices, and bonding. Throughout the cinematic, we saw a group of survivors assisting one another when things get chaotic or catastrophic. Now the adventure will be filled with danger and death. State of Decay 3 is set to release in the future. This game was a surprise, a pleasant one. This is a reactive turn-based RPG taking place on a surreal, beautiful new world inspired by Francis La Belle Époque. You play as one of the members of the expeditioners who are embarking on an impossible quest to end the cycle of death. What truly stands out was its smooth and fluid combat. This isn't an ordinary turn-based RPG. The combat system is arranged so you take decisions on your turns. These are also animated alongside the movement of the characters you are taking on, and the UI is as you prepare to fight. The game looks splendid, completely new and a beauty to look at. Expedition 33 is set to release in 2025. BioWare is back with a new Dragon Age: The Veilguard. We didn't get any gameplay. We saw the setup of the story, or at least we saw the 7 companions that will be on our journey, each with their own rich story to discover and shape. This new entry sets the world in a new vibrant land full of magic and secrets. Together with your companions, you will challenge a pair of corrupt ancient gods who have broken free from centuries of darkness. You play as Rook, Dragon Age's newest hero. This game kinda gives me the vibes of the Legend of Vox Machina. Hopefully the fellowship is important to develop throughout the game. I mean, if they do that, it's gonna be good. But there's still a lot we haven't seen from the game. It is likely as they pass, more information will come out, since the game is set to release this year. This is a free-to-play first-person shooter set in a stylized futuristic world. A 5v5 fast-paced combat shooter with power-up cards that change the rules of each round. Set to be no round or game the same as the previous one. The game has a total of 70 shard cards with an activable selection that changes every round, creating new and unique combinations that create infinite possibilities. Cards can amplify your jump height, reverse the roles of attackers and defenders, engulf your bullets in flames, or turn them into chain lightning, or even resurrect a teammate. Frank Punk brings a new twist. Its release date is still to be announced. Max Caulfield, photographer in residence at the prestigious Caledon University, discovers her closest friend, Safi, dead in the snow as she has been murdered. To save her, Max tries to rewind time. Instead of the normal outcome, she opens a way to the parallel timeline where Safi is still alive and still in danger. Forge allies and pursue suspects across two versions of reality, shaping both timelines throughout unforgettable choices. Full of the same flair of the first games, Life is Strange is back to impact us with its storytelling and decision-making endings. Life is Strange Double Exposure is available on Steam on October 29th. Konami brings us Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, the origin story of iconic military operative Snake. This remake brings new graphics, immersive stealth action gameplay, and sounds to its riveting story. First time we saw this game announced, it was only a cinematic. This time around is an unveiling of some elements of combat gameplay and stealth. For this game to be a hit, not just with fans but new audiences, it needs to stick to the original material or story, but revitalize elements of gameplay that might be too old for the times of gaming. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater is coming out in the near future. Annapurna Interactive is back with another hit of visual artistry. From creators Beethoven and Dinosaur Mixtape is a narrative adventure game about a game of friends. On their last night of high school, three friends embark on a one more adventure together. Play through a mixtape of memories set to the soundtrack of a generation. The game draws inspiration from classic coming-of-age movies, bringing together nostalgic aimlessness, mischief, music, the highs and lows of adolescence, and the bittersweet feelings brought about growth, transformation, and moving on. Mixtape releases in 2025. Finally, it has a release date! Stalker 2 is set and ready to take us into the unknowns. Dangerous and radioactive lands of Chernobyl. We take over the role of a lone stalker and explore amazing, seamless open worlds in 64 kilometers of radioactive zones, with a variety of environments that reveal post-apocalyptic atmospheres from different angles. Stalker 2: The Heart of Chernobyl releases on September 5th. Again, I see a cute animal, I'm all in. Winter Burrow is a cozy woodland survival game about a mouse returning home to restore their childhood burrow. Explore, gather resources, craft tools, knit warm sweaters, bake pies, and meet locals. Brave the elements and journey out into the frozen wilderness to collect vital resources for yourself and the house. Winter Burrow is the mix of Don't Starve and Stardew Valley. It is a lovely game, and it will be available in 2025. Starfield has a new story expansion. This time we go down the rabbit hole to discover the House of Varun, which might not be as extinct as it was once believed. Shattered Space not only adds more story but also changes the tone of the game. We go from hopeful adventures in space to dark, mysterious, and dangerous quests. The change of tone makes it more attractive to go back into space and explore, because it kinda looks and feels like a Dead Space type of vibe. Starfield Shattered Space launches later this year. What a display of combat! Doom received a full revamp on weapons and tools available to combat demons. You'll be able to use a shield in various ways to defeat your enemies, throw and slash whatever lies ahead of you while you shoot down everything with a shotgun or another available weapon. Doom Dark Ages is the epic cinematic origin story of this amazing character. This game looks awesome. I don't play Doom games, but wowee, this is something else. Truly a new upgrade to the whole system. Now this will be available in 2025. From one origin story to another, Years of War E-Day is the experience of the brutal horror of Emergence Day through the eyes of Marcus Phoenix. The story takes place 14 years before Years of War. War heroes Marcus Phoenix and Dom Santiago return home to face a new nightmare, the Locust Horde, the first appearance of them. The game is built from the ground up with Unreal Engine 5, so expect some amazing visuals and graphical fidelity. This is the game Gears of War fans have been expecting. The game is set to release later in the future. That is it! Holy! It isn't every showcase or all of the games, but it is something. A lot more games were announced, so there's plenty to look for the upcoming months. Probably I'll cover some of them, but if you stayed till this point, thank you very much. I am extremely grateful you lasted this long with me. Hopefully this was helpful and informative, but stay tuned for the weekly gaming news. There's still more coming out this week. So that's all for this video. What are your thoughts on these gaming announcements? If you saw another game you were interested and I didn't mention it, let me know in the comment section. I'm the Honey Badger and I love to talk about everything gaming from news to games. If you liked the video, remember to leave a like and share. It really helps. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Keep on gaming.